All right, mate, how you doing? Welcome back to another episode of IMO. Today we're talking about Premier League predictions. Now, normally I do this at the start of the season. I did do one at the start of this season, but obviously this season's been very different. We're about to restart it with Project Restart. I made a whole video about my thoughts on Project Restart a few weeks ago, so check that out if you haven't seen it. But we're not just going to be predicting how this season finishes. We're going to be looking at each individual game that's left to be played, predicting the scorelines, the winners, the losers, and then we'll see how the league table is going to finish in comparison to how I thought it was going to finish back in August. Let's go. Okay, so it's time to make some predictions. Now, the first thing we're going to do is look at the league table I created back in August 2019. That was the league table I thought was going to finish. Sheffield United at the bottom, if you can just see them there. So Sheffield United was way wrong. They're not going to finish bottom, we know that. We had Man City to win. That's almost certainly not going to happen either. So the bookends of this league table are bad. They're bad. Leicester are going to do better than that, we know that. Interesting to see how these ones come in. Can Mourinho get him in there? I'm not sure. There's quite a few errors here. There's a few ones that could be right. I mean, it's quite hard to get them bang right. But what you want to do is get them in the right area. So where it's bad is where you have someone like Top, who's actually near the bottom, and vice versa. Like when I predicted Leicester to finish 17th when they won the league. That was bad. But that one wasn't too bad because everyone got that wrong. Norwich in 12th. I knew one of the promoted teams was going to do well. And I thought it was going to be Norwich. And they started the season playing good football. But Sheffield United are that team, of course, that have been flying. But more importantly, let's take a look at the league, how it actually looks right now. So, obviously Liverpool top. Man City got a game in hand. If they win that, they go on to 60 points, right? Still going to be 22 points behind. To get 22 points, you need at least 8 games. They have 10 left. And that's if Liverpool lose all their games. Okay, so we all know Liverpool are going to win the league, but we'll get into proper predictions in a minute. There's a lot, actually, of spots up for grabs still. Leicester, Chelsea, Man United, Wolves. I mean, Leicester look pretty good. They've got 8 points on 5th place. So if Leicester, as long as they don't have a complete bottle job, Leicester should finish in the top 4. But we're going to get the proper predictions done. But there's a lot of movement opportunities. Even teams like Sheffield United, with that game in hand, take them into 5th. There's a few people that could come out of this break, this pandemic break, and like completely change their fortunes around. You know, there's a thing called momentum in sport and in football and in everything. And this has killed any momentum a team had. But any negative momentum, any kind of free fall team was on, has also had a chance to reset. So you look at the relegation teams and the teams near the bottom. Are they going to use this break, this opportunity to come back, you know, a different side? Maybe they've found some new fitness. Maybe they've found some new confidence. There's a lot of other things we've got to take into consideration, which is all of these games are going to be played behind closed doors, right? And if you look at the Bundesliga, I'm sure some of you have been watching the Bundesliga, one crucial thing that's made a difference in is the home advantage has almost ceased to exist. The home advantage is no longer a thing, basically, is what these behind closed doors have shown. It's all about the crowd, obviously. With no crowd, you don't get it. So it's a little bit, I wouldn't say unfair, but unfortunate for teams who have played maybe the weaker teams at home, but have still got to play the better teams at home in these games that haven't happened yet, because they're not going to get the home advantage in those games. So this season, we'll always have an asterisk on it. Whatever happens now, when Liverpool do win the league, they will always have an asterisk next to it forever. It'll say 2019-20. I'm trying to do an asterisk here with my hands. 2019-20, Liverpool, champions, asterisk. That's a shame for Liverpool. There's nothing they can do about that. This season is going to end with what? About a quarter of it still to play. And the final quarter is not going to have the same conditions that the first 3 quarters had. So basically, if you look at this article here, this is on ESPN. Since the Bundesliga returned in front of empty stands, where they call them ghost games, home teams have won 21.7% of matches, 10 from 46 games, down from 43%. If you think about it, there's 3 results that can happen in a game: a home win, a draw, or an away win. Traditionally, 43.3% of games in the Bundesliga would have a home win. Now, if there was no such thing as home advantage, you'd think it would be roughly 33%, because this is over a massive sample of games. You know, each thing has 1/3 chance of happening. But no, home advantage we know has always been a thing. But in these new games, you'd actually argue that it could even be a disadvantage, because when there's only 3 options of things that can happen, with a home team winning 21.7% of games, if it was equal, they'd all be 33%. So you could argue there's a home disadvantage now. Home teams have also scored fewer goals. The pre-lockdown rate of 1.75 goals per game is now down to 1.28, while the away team's winning ratio has risen from 34 to 47. So the away team's winning ratio has gone from almost exactly a third at 34% to 47% to nearly half. So away teams win more. Now, is that because it happened to be that a lot of the away games were the better teams just in a fluke in the way the Bundesliga fixtures were? Or is that an actual mental thing about playing away now? Maybe because of the coronavirus, maybe because of the pandemic and the various things you have to do and what is involved in travelling away to a game now. Maybe being away from your family, you feel safer that you're not going to infect them. I don't know, I'm just kind of thinking this out loud, but there's no doubt, the numbers don't lie. In the Bundesliga, it's worse to be at home right now. Whether that translates to the Prem remains to be seen, but I'll be honest, I am taking that into consideration with my predictions you're going to see shortly. The same trends have been seen in Estonia. After 29 games, there were just 11 wins from the home teams. Czech Republic, after 32 games, just 10 home wins. So kind of a third, as opposed to nearly a half we normally see. So that is more than a coincidence. Now, next thing I want to show you guys. This is a website called 538 I found. These guys have run a simulation for the rest of the season based on the games left, okay? And these guys are ordered in the position they think they're going to finish. So these are the points they think everyone's going to finish on. So for example, let's look at Everton. Everton currently have 37 points, okay? They're predicting to finish on 51. Burnley currently have 39 points. They're predicting to finish on 49. So they're saying that Everton are going to go above Burnley. This is where this website, not me, this website thinks everyone's going to finish. Obviously, it's got Liverpool finishing top. And they've not got a lot of movement, I'll be honest. Leicester are currently third. They're staying in third. Leicester have got a 95% chance, according to this website, of qualifying for the Champions League. Wolves have a 23% chance. Arsenal, a 5% chance of qualifying for the Champions League. And of course, these predictions go both ways. We go down to the relegation section. Norwich, 95% chance of being relegated. Villa, 71% chance. West Ham, 31. So if it isn't the three most predicted teams to go down by this website, West Ham are next, okay? Which is worrying. And we're going to talk about that. And that's partly because of the run-in we have. You know, we currently have 27 points in the league. They think we're going to finish on 38. Wow. So they think we're only going to get 11 more points. So there's a lot to worry about, lads. If you're a West Ham fan, that is. Or if you're a Bournemouth fan or a Villa fan. If you're a Norwich fan, there's almost no point in worrying. Because what this website is telling us is that they're already down, pretty much. 95%. There's as much chance of Leicester qualifying for the Champions League as there is of Norwich getting relegated. This is based on stats. The league is currently playing matches in empty stadiums. Home advantage has been reduced by 10% to reflect the change. So they're looking at that as well. You got their chance of scoring, or their offensive rating, their defensive rating. Average simulated season. They've got they've obviously simulated loads of seasons, and they've made an average result out of that. Now, if you go matches, this is quite interesting, right? These are the games coming up. They're giving people their own individual chance. We're going to do this ourselves in a minute. They're saying, for example, Tottenham United, Man United are the favourites to win that. That's on the 19th of June. That's a week today. 46% chance of winning that, apparently. City, massive chance of beating Arsenal, 78%. This doesn't mean it's going to happen. There's obviously upsets all the time. And they've done this for every single game that's left in the season. If you go to completed matches, you can, because they've done this for the games that have happened, and you can actually see how right they were. So green is what happened. The percentage, obviously, is what they thought were going to happen. So they thought 65% Leicester win, Leicester won. Here they thought Man City were going to win, United won. Here they thought Chelsea would win, they were right. Here they thought Tottenham would win. Then the last thing they thought would happen was a draw, and it was actually a draw. Sheffield United would win, they got that right. This is just from one match week. They thought this would be a Wolves win, it was a draw. They thought that would be a Palace win, and they were right. So I'd say they're about right half the time on these, maybe at least half. This is how you can use data and you can use maths to predict things. No guarantee it's going to happen. What this is basically what's expected to happen based on previous data, based on stats, based on performances, and based mostly on probability. There could be 1,000 different, timelines, if you believe in that sort of thing. And there might be one timeline where Man City win the league. There might be one timeline when Leicester won the league a few years ago. That timeline happened to happen in the real universe, or at least this version of the universe that we're experiencing. Enough about that. We've got sound effects, people. Did I not mention that? Okay. So we've seen the stats from these guys. It's time for me to make my predictions. We're going to go back to this website. Now what we're going to do, boys, we're going to start predicting the results. And we're going to see what's going to happen. So we're going to try and speed through this as much as possible. Aston Villa, Sheffield United. We know Sheffield United are in form. They're currently 7th in the league. This league table, I think, will live update as we do these results as well. We know Aston Villa are fighting for their lives. And listen, this is the point in the season, regardless of the pandemic, this is the point in the season where usually some of the relegation candidates start to pick up points, surprisingly. against teams who maybe sometimes don't have the same motivation, maybe underestimate their opposition. I don't think Sheffield United will do that. I also think the home advantage isn't going to be as big. But I think this game back is going to be 1-1. That's what I'm going to predict, right? And then Man City, Arsenal. No Man City home advantage, but it's Man City. I think Arsenal are going to struggle in this game. I think it's going to be 3-0 is my prediction. Now, I'm not going to do this after every week, but we can calculate, bang, off that, the league table will update. You see, Sheffield United now have played their game in hand and they've gone up to 6th. So we're going to rocket through each game week and see how the league's changing. So, 19th of June, Norwich, Southampton. I'm going to go. I think there's going to be a lot of goals in games because teams are going to be tired. I'm going to go 2-2 there. Tottenham United, they've got no Dele Alli. And I've just got a feeling United are going to come out the blocks and win that one. Watford, Leicester, 1-0 to Leicester. Brighton against Arsenal. We're going to go 3-1 to Arsenal. They're going to bounce back from that City defeat. West Ham, Wolves. I think we are going to lose 2-0. Everton, Liverpool. Great game this. I think it's going to be 2-1 to Liverpool. Man City, Burnley. I'm going to say 2-1 to Man City. Bang. After those results, Liverpool will be 22 points clear. There'll still be 24 points up for grabs, so they won't have won it just yet. And the league table relegation zone is still very tight. Leicester, Brighton is going to be 2-0 to Leicester. Tottenham, West Ham is going to be... West Ham have got a result against Tottenham. They're actually the first team ever to beat Tottenham at that ground. No crowd, no home advantage for Spurs. So that's going to be a draw. Chelsea, Man City is going to be 2-1 to City. Right, not a lot of movement again in that league table, but West Ham have dropped in to the relegation zone. Don't want to alarm you. You might not care, but West Ham have dropped into the relegation zone with those results, boys. Next week, Everton, Leicester is going to be 1-1. West Ham, Chelsea is going to be 2-1 to Chelsea. Sheffield United, Tottenham. Weirdly, it's going to be 3-1 to Spurs. Sorry, Sheffield United. That's what's going to happen. And City, Liverpool is going to be 0-0. Okay? Calculated them. We move on. Burnley, Sheffield United is going to be 1 apiece. Tottenham, Everton is going to be 2-2. And Wolves, Arsenal is going to be 1-1. 5 game weeks left. Arsenal, Leicester is going to be 1 apiece. Got Leicester drawing a lot. Villa, United is going to be a defeat there. That's going to be a defeat there. Palace is actually they're going to get a draw with Chelsea. West Ham, Burnley. West Ham are actually going to win this game, boys. Believe it or not. How are we looking? With 4 games left. West Ham have got themselves out the relegation zone. Brighton are in there with Bournemouth and Norwich. Okay, what's happening up here? Chelsea down to 5th. Man United have leapfrogged them on goal difference right now. Leicester still looking good. Sheffield United down to 9th. Wolves have climbed to 6th there. Okay, let's see what the last 4 weeks do. Tottenham, Arsenal is going to be 2-2. It's going to be a Desmond. Wolves, Everton, 1-0. 3 game weeks left. Arsenal, Liverpool, 1 apiece. I expect some games to be higher scoring than this, but I also think that the goal difference is kind of... might make a few spots change, but it's not really what we're doing this for. One thing to think about is how much these games are going to come thick and fast. So it's going to be a lot about squad depth. Who's got the squad that can cope? Who's got the players that can cope? Like Harry Kane, yes, he's been given more time to recover from his injury for Spurs, but can he handle 2 games a week right now? I'm not sure he can. They're going to have to probably cope without him a little bit. And then West Ham, Watford is going to be 1-1. There's 2 game weeks left, and as it stands, West Ham have got 5 points between them and relegation. Brighton, Bournemouth and Norwich are struggling. Norwich have actually got themselves level with Bournemouth. I'm predicting quite safely here. I'm not going any mental predictions, obviously, but it's just interesting to see how it works out in my head. So, Bournemouth, Southampton, on one of the final days, they're going to pick out a win. Villa are going to shock the world and beat Arsenal 1-0. Brighton are going to draw with Newcastle there. Liverpool are going to draw with Chelsea. Man United are unfortunately going to beat us. Say 2-1 actually. Norwich, Burnley. Norwich are going to get a brave draw in a 3-3 encounter. Sheffield United, Everton is going to be 1 apiece. Tottenham, Leicester is going to be 3-1 to Tottenham. Watford, Man City, 1-1. And then Wolves, Palace, 2-0 to Wolves. Okay? 1 game week left. We won't look at the league table at the bottom half at least until we finish these results. Final day, 25th of July. Arsenal are going to win on the final day 2-1. Burnley against Brighton is going to be a last gasp win for Brighton in a chance to stay up. Chelsea Wolves is going to be 2-1 to Chelsea. Palace Tottenham is going to be 1-1. Everton Bournemouth. I've got to look about this. Who's got something to play for here? A last-minute win for Bournemouth, maybe? Yeah, they could do that. They could do that. Leicester, Man United. Great game. It's going to be 2-2. City, Norwich on the final day. Unfortunately, City are going to do a job on them. Newcastle, Liverpool is going to be a last-minute win for Liverpool as they try and get over 100 points. Southampton, Sheffield United is going to be a win for Sheffield. West Ham, Villa is a massive game on the last day. I haven't done the maths yet. I don't know if either of these teams can go down. I'm telling you right now, Villa are going to win it. This is going to be my final league table. Liverpool are going to win the league. Man City are going to come second, as predicted. Leicester will finish third. Manchester United will get fourth place by 3 points. Paul Pogba's back. Rashford's back. Bruno Fernandes is ready. Chelsea FC are going to finish fifth under Frank Lampard. Wolves are going to just beat Sheffield United on goal difference to 6th place. Sheffield United in 7th. Tottenham under Mourinho as low as 8th. Arsenal under Arteta as low as 9th. Everton 9 points behind Arsenal. They're in 10th. Level with Palace and on goal difference actually. Everton and Palace 10th and 11th. Newcastle finishing 12th. Not bad under Steve Bruce, a manager that wasn't given a lot of backing. And obviously new owners on the way, we're led to believe. Burnley and Villa both make it to 42 points. So Villa survive. Southampton 15th. They'll probably take that. 38 points. Lots of teams finishing under the 40 mark. They're supposed to get you survival. Watford will survive with 36 points. According to my scores, West Ham are just going to stay up on 34 points. 1 point more than Brighton. Despite West Ham losing on the final day. Brighton will go down, 33. Bournemouth will go down, 33 points. Norwich will go down with 28 points. What do you think of those predictions? I'll be honest, I actually think West Ham are going to go down. I actually think we're going to go down. Based on our running, I've done those games one game at a time, and West Ham haven't gone down. But it's by 1 point, so it's very tight. Like I say, when I do these predictions, I'm not really expecting to get anything bang on. I'm trying to get teams in the right area. And this is different to a normal predictions. I'm predicting game by game, and I'm doing it from a point in time at roughly 29 games played for the final 9 games. So it's a very different video. But I think it's still an interesting exercise to see how far out this will be from what actually happened. So we can compare this, in a few weeks' time when the Premier League is finished, to how accurate I was. It's Brighton, though, Bournemouth and Norwich fans, you're going to be unhappy with that. As we looked at on that other stat earlier, Norwich are 95% to go down, based on previous form, essentially, and probability. But the rest of the spots are a little bit closer. And West Ham were finishing 17th. So I have West Ham, Brighton, Bournemouth. Let's go back to the other website and see if they had West Ham, Brighton, Bournemouth as their bottom ones. They didn't. So they had West Ham, Bournemouth, Villa, Norwich. So I've relegated Brighton, essentially, whereas the odds are telling me Villa are going to go down. So the difference between, essentially, numbers and me is that in my head, Villa are going to put something together and survive, and Brighton are going to collapse. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. But it's so tight, guys. I think Newcastle are good. They've got that 6-point gap. But all these teams here, from Brighton down, all these teams, is not a lot between them. So you could have any version of that could go down. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to go down. I don't think any of you think Liverpool aren't going to win the league. You'd be a very brave predictor to say Liverpool are not going to win this league. It's 99% done, people. 99%. It would be the biggest bottle in the history of bottle jobs if Liverpool don't win the league. And they will win the league. And they might even do it first 2 games, And the rest of it will be just a exercise for them. It could be interesting to see when Liverpool do get the league title, how they perform in the rest of the games and how that affects the league table. Do they go full strength? Does Klopp do one of his things where he gets the kids out again? You're not supposed to do that in the Premier League. We'll see. But they are my Premier League restart predictions. The Project Restart predictions are in. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. I'll be back soon. Remember, you can watch these IMOs live. Check out the links in the description to my Twitch page. Until next time, don't go changing.